Greetings, everyone. How y'all doing today? Happy Sunday. Today is the day that the sun rules. I am the Moon Mama. I am heading over to SWA to meet with someone who is supporting me with planning an event, and this is our Master Nodal class. Okay, you all. So the moon is in Leo for the remainder of the day. It goes into Virgo tonight at 8 o'clock. And the sun is in Gemini. That's weird. And the sun is in Gemini. And so with the sun in Gemini and the moon in Leo, we have an energy that is easily creative, meaning you can manifest effortlessly now. Sometimes I can manifest something really easy if I don't want it. If I'm not interested in it, it comes easy. But then there are times when I'm hooked into something and I really am trying to manifest it and it won't. It's like you put resistance in the field because you believe that you don't have it. Because you believe that you don't have it. And I really want to tell you guys a story right now because I just got off the phone with my cousin and we just had such a deep ass conversation about something I want to share, but I don't know how to make this conversation feel aligned to the astrology, so I'm gonna just do what I want to do. Okay, because Gemini is about storytelling. So when I was in my 20s, I started dating this white guy. When I left Howard University, I had been indoctrinated into everything black. Like at Howard, everything was black. Literally, they would make math black. Like algebra was black. Like, the professor would be at the board going, that Africans were the first people that ever thought of math. Like everything was about blackness. And I just left Howard thinking, I'm gonna date a white man. That's literally what I thought. I was like, I'm gonna date a white man. Like I needed to escape it. And so I started working at this law firm and a white man approached me and he literally came to me. It's so hilarious. He literally came to me and he said, would you like to go see a Luther Vandross concert? And I was like, okay. And the concert was like 4 months away. It wasn't on the weekend. It was like 4 months away. And so it was this interesting thing of like waiting, and it was really weird. But anyway, so when I started dating this man, he came from a wealthy family. He worked at a law firm that was a really reputable law firm. So he was probably already making maybe $200,000 a year. He's 30 years old. Back in the day, this is a lot, right? And then he comes from a wealthy family. And when I started dating him, it really showed the contrast of resource and race. Like I was so aware, we would fly to Aspen, we would do things that I had never even thought of. Like this man taught me the difference between when I would drink wine, black people used to drink that sweet pink wine, and he taught me Chardonnay and he taught me about wines, and he just literally, just being with him changed my life. Being with him just elevated my whole experience in the material world. That's what it did. But I was so aware that I could not change that materialism for what I needed spiritually. I was very aware that he could offer me these material things, but he didn't have shit to offer me spiritually. And that was a deep divide inside of me because there's this practical need of resource and finance. And then for me, like somebody like me, there's this spiritual need that makes the resource and finance valuable. It's a very interesting thing. And so we broke up. I dated him for 2 years. It was so hard. And here's what happened. He moved to San Francisco. So when we first started dating, he lived here. And then he moved to San Francisco. And he would fly me to San Francisco every other weekend to spend with him. And one weekend, so this was going on for maybe like a year or so. And one weekend, he had 2 cats. I go to his house, and all of a sudden, I'm allergic to his cats. I literally can't be there. Like my system turned off. I was allergic to his cats. And then the relationship just started to unravel because that was it. Like literally that was my spirit saying, you have had your fill of this. You are not going any further into this. And I'll never forget the weekend we broke up. I was up there and just crying. I remember flying back home and it took me years to get over that relationship. Like I could not move forward. I was in grief for years. And now looking back, the grief was because of this material thing. Like I wanted to have access, but I couldn't sell myself for it. And I don't know what kind of decision I made, but I made a decision. And I grieved it for years. Like it was a long time. And I was working at law firms. And I made a decision because I was working with lawyers. So that became the thing. I made a decision after I broke up with him, or after we broke up, because he may have broke up. I'm not sure if it was me or him, but I got sick. So I decided that I wasn't going to date any more white men at law firms. So I could be there, but because it was starting to become a thing, like it was starting, and I was like, don't do it anymore. And I remember I was starting to date this other man. He was in like the advertising business. And we were on a date, and we were at his house, and we were making out. Young, white, Jewish, long hair. We have our clothes on. We're in his bed kissing, and I say, I can't do this. Like I literally was like, I gotta get out of here. Like this is about to become a thing, and I don't want to do this. I can't keep negotiating my spirituality for materialism or for access or to be the hip girl or to be, I couldn't do it. And so that was the last one that was it. Like got out of the bed kissing him and never dated another white man again. and haven't ever even considered it again. And so I was on the phone with my cousin this morning, and she was talking about her own experience of just the contrast. And it is a very interesting thing. And I'm so curious if there are women who are listening, who are black women, who are married to white men and feel like they are really true to themselves. Like that was the thing. I felt like I was going to have to give up who I really was, which was a part of my spirit and my soul, to be with him. Like I was going to have to abandon that to have access to all that resource. And it was a lot of resource. It was a lot of money. And I'm wondering if there are black women here who understand what I'm talking about, and maybe they were able to be with partners and not give up access to the resource, like could do the thing that I couldn't do, or didn't lose themselves. Let's say it that way, because it's not about the resource, it's about losing yourself. Could you be in a relationship with a white man and not lose yourself? Could you be in a relationship? Because I would lose myself in a relationship with any man, honestly. It wasn't just white men. But the white one was becoming so clear that I was like, I'm going to be really lost. If I go do this, I'm not going to be able to find myself again. She's going to be gone. With a black man, I could always go and be like, okay, well, come on, there she is over there. Let me go back and get her. Let me go back. Come on over here, girl. Let me bring you back. So I don't really fully lose myself with black men, or I hadn't. But I always lose myself because I have a Pisces rising. I get lost in the experience, in the person. I merge. I die to myself. It's the way of the Pisces energy. And now that I understand that about myself, I know how to better relate. But at the time, I was like, oh, if I date this man, I am going to be... I didn't know who I was going to become. And my friends used to look at me with concern in their eyes. My friends would be looking at me like, are you in there, Monique? Are you in there, Monique? Or are you becoming somebody else? And I could see them looking at me with terror in their eyes that I was changing. And so, but I'm meant to change, right? So all of it is all relative. It was just a very interesting experience. So I'm telling this story. We're in Gemini. The energy is, the Gemini sun is at the 11th degree. The sunken place, exactly. Drunk on wine, nice clothes, nice material things, but empty as fuck. But empty as, like, nothing else. All the diamonds, 3-carat diamond rings that cost $50,000, but no soul. Yeah, okay, anyway. So, I feel like that's the energy of the Gemini duality. The duality between, it's the dual nature of humanity. Like, it's just the dual nature of humanity. And I don't feel like there's any right or wrong in it. I feel like, what works for people works for people. And the question is, can you be true to yourself? That's the question. And that is the thing that I have been living towards in my life, like being true to myself and not losing myself with others. And so today, with the sun in Gemini and the moon in Leo, the sun is at the 11th degree, which is an Aquarius degree, which is friends and community. And it's literally about having your own mind. The difference between having a hive mind and your own original mind, your own original thoughts. And being able to self-define and not being defined by the culture. I feel like that's been my great lesson, whether it be with a white rich man or a black poor man, to hold on, to define myself and not be defined by men. Yesterday I was with a friend of mine who is a Leo, and I spent the whole day, it's so interesting. So let me tell this story. I love this story. So I've been watching these videos on TikTok of these people doing tango dancing. And on TikTok, there's this competition between how white people can do it and the black people can't, because the way black people move our hips, it's some sort of rhythmic thing. And whenever they show the black people trying to do the hip thing, it looks horrible. It's so, literally, it's a dance. It's funny to see black people doing something that they can't do. But when the white people do it, it looks amazing. It's so sway and beautiful. And so every time I would see it, I would think of my friend who also is a dancer, and he lives in New York, and I would go, I wonder if he can do this, and I'm going to send him this video. And finally, for days, I've been thinking of it. So yesterday, he called me, and he was like, I'm in Los Angeles. And I was like, wow, I've been thinking of him, and now he's here. From New York, he's here. It spontaneously came. And so I was like, oh, okay. So we went to, so he came by, and I had already planned my day to be home, to be cleaning, to be taking care of the things that I needed to take care of. But when he came, I knew that I had created it. I was like, but I created this because I've been calling him here by thinking about him every day. So I'm not going to reject my creation. So I'm going to figure out a way to do what I need to do while he's here with me. So we basically ended up just doing rituals all day long. But it took me being able to say, he's very consuming. He's a Leo. His energy is very big and consuming. And I could easily just collapse into his desire. And, because when we came out, he wants to shop and he wants to eat and he wants to drive slow in the car and listen to music. And he wants to, we're sitting in the car and some woman walked by and he's like, look at her breasts. They're beautiful. I'm like, nigga, take me home. You know what I mean? I needed to be able to combine the energies, to have a day where my needs got met and his needs got met. Because I had created him. I had called him in. And so I did it. Throughout the day, I would go, take me home. I need to do this. Or I need this. I want to go do this. But typically, I wouldn't assert myself like that because I'm very easygoing. I'm very invisible. I'm very, oh, you sure? Especially when I'm with men. I can just become I can literally become a bag on somebody's shoulder when I'm with a man who has a lot of direction. Like they say, the feminine just surrenders. But ultimately, that doesn't work for me because they always end up taking me somewhere I don't really want to be. They always end up taking me somewhere that isn't about me. They end up taking me somewhere that is ultimately about them. So I have to stay in control of my own system. I have to insert myself into the experience. Otherwise, I will wind up the river in somebody else's reality wondering where the fuck I am and how the fuck I got here. So it's taken me to be 50-something to learn this. That these men will take me into an experience that is not mine and is not where I actually want to be. And the only one that is responsible for that is me. But I've had to learn who I am and what I want so that I can get my reality projected, not theirs. Because otherwise, I wouldn't even know what I wanted because all I wanted was the man. All I wanted was the man. And then I get the man and I realize that, he has me generating his reality. I don't want to generate his reality. I want to generate my own fucking reality. Because where he's taking me has nothing to do with where I want to be. So this is the energy, is are you capable of being true to yourself in the face of all types of opposition, pulls, ideas? Do you know your own mind? Do you know your own frequency? Do you know who the fuck you are or what the fuck you are up to? Because if you don't, you're going to be a character in somebody else's story. I love y'all. Have a really good day. Peace and blessings. I am the Moon Mama. Bye-bye.